Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom from my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just an unfamiliar coordinate. Topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Gonna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it, trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing, you do best not to test it. Yeah, you right, real all in my blood supply. Dig ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know, co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and everything is looking good and sounding good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things are looking and sounding bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early, all right? Because I'm definitely in the building late. So if you already here, you was clearly in the building early. So shout out to you. Shout out to Lavanya Frank. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Mod Extraordinaire. Brooklyn Queen. Definitely appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to my man, DC Precise. DC Precise says, we need to speak to the owner of this establishment. Here I am. Here we is, boy. Here we is. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody watching wherever you watching at. All right. So we are going to talk about a lot of interesting things today, as we always do, right? You can tell how interesting those things are and how much brain power they require by how few people show up. All right. So, if you're in one of those streams where there's just a couple people here, right? Just a couple people here, then you know that you are in a stream that takes a skill that a large majority of people around these parts here don't have. And that is to use their brain muscle for something other than a hat rack. All right. They're using their brain muscle for something other than a hat rack. Now, shout out to that classic rant that I did yesterday, right? I watched it, I rewatched it, I listened to it, and I analyzed it. And I want to make sure that everybody is very clear that I have absolutely no regrets. And I will probably say much worse in the future. Okay? So I have no regrets. None. As a matter of fact, I feel great. I feel great. All right? So, just in case anybody, Rob was just mad. No, honestly, I wasn't even angry. I think what happened yesterday is that the tension of time finally forced something that needed to be there into existence. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says was lonely on the channel. Yeah, bro, facts. What happened there? Where everybody at? What happened? We got to ask them when they come around next time. What happened? Push up on them. Hey, what's up? Where you been at, bro? Something happened? You know what I'm saying? You get sick? What's wrong with it? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with it? Yeah, facts. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says we're hodling the FM coin now. Bro, facts. Now, what we got to do is we got to talk about this mass adoption pathway for Bitcoin, right? We also got to talk about the spliced Bitcoin hybrid financial instruments that people are going to be seeing coming very soon, right? It's already people that have created their own mass hybrid Bitcoin assets, right? Like the MicroStrategies convertible note, right? And we're going to ask the question, what do these things mean for Bitcoin? Now, shout out to the Bitcoin, right? Shout out to the Bitcoin. Because if I'm not mistaken, right now, Bitcoin is trading for about $92,000. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Which Bitcoin has a higher demand? A $92,000 Bitcoin or a $100,000 Bitcoin? Which Bitcoin has the higher demand and why? Let me ask you guys this question. If you're somebody that has one Bitcoin, would you rather Bitcoin be $100,000? Or if you're Michael Saylor and you want to have as many Bitcoin as possible, would you rather have a $92,000 Bitcoin? Which Bitcoin is better? A $90,000 Bitcoin or a $100,000 Bitcoin? This is one of the reasons why people don't come to these live streams, because you have to use your brain. know what I'm saying? Shout out to Frozen. Frozen says 100K. The $100,000 Bitcoin is better. If you guys agree with Frozen, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Frozen, then give me a thumbs down. Now, here's my suggestion. The same way that Europe has the EU, the same way that the United States has NATO. If I was one of these smaller countries, what I would do is I would create the first economic bloc based on countries that use Bitcoin as their currency. I would create that economic bloc and enforce rules about how we use Bitcoin and the amounts of Bitcoin each of us is required to have as a participant in this quote unquote Bitcoin economic bloc. Let me ask you guys this question. What's the potential of a quote unquote Bitcoin economic bloc? How would a Bitcoin economic bloc compare to an economic bloc that's based on countries' fiat currencies and foreign policy? How would that work? What would that look like? Is it even possible? Is it even feasible? This is an old article, right? But I think it's important. And I think people should pay attention to it. I got an email this morning, and it was talking about mass Bitcoin adoption. Now, this article is from April 27th of 2022. I didn't know this. This slid under my radar. How many people knew about this? Bitcoin becomes official currency in Central African Republic. If you knew about this, give me a thumbs up. If you did not know about this, then give me a thumbs down. Pretty interesting, right? What happens when this starts to spread? It is spreading, right? The Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin as legal tender, just the second country to do so, all right? Central African Republic is one of the world's poorest countries, but is rich in diamonds, gold, and uranium, okay? It has been racked by conflict for decades and is a close Russian ally with mercenaries from the Wagner Group helping fight rebel forces. Lawmakers voted unanimously to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, said a statement from the Central African presidency. All right. Now, what's the implications of this? The move puts Central African Republic on the map of the world's boldest and most visionary countries, it says. El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as an official currency in September of 2021, a move criticized by many economists, including the International Monetary Fund, which said it had increased the risk of financial instability. Now, how did that age? How did that age? Did that age pretty well or didn't age too well? That didn't age very well, did it? Others have raised fears that cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin could make it easier for criminals to launder money and that they are environmentally damaging because they use so much electricity to generate. Okay? Now, how many people agree with that? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that, give me a thumbs down. The internet is needed to use any cryptocurrency, but in 2019, just 4% of people in the Central African Republic had access to the web, according to the World Data website. The country currently uses the French-backed CFA franc as its currency, along with most other former French colonies in Africa. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What does how does this African nation using French money as their currency, what kind of situations does that set up for them? And is that the best way to do business? If you guys would say that that's the best way to do business, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys would not say that that's the best way to do business, then give me a thumbs down. This is that stuff that I'm talking about. This isn't a good way to do business. What's the benefit to this nation for using the French franc? How does that help anything with what they got going on? Some see the adoption of Bitcoin as an attempt to undermine the CFA amidst a contest for influence over the resource-rich country between Russia and France. Okay, so again, Russia, I want you guys to sit back and look at the implications of this. Does anybody not see it? There's already people there, right? There's already people that live there. But Russia and France are in competition with each other to control that country. I find it fascinating that that country doesn't seem to be in control of itself. It doesn't seem to be fighting to control itself. Yeah, I got to agree with Frozen. Shout out to Frozen. Frozen says using another country's currency robs you of your sovereignty. Facts. It robs you of your sovereignty. How does that work here in the United States for those of us using US dollar fiat currency? The context, given the systemic corruption and a Russian partner facing international sanctions, does encourage suspicion. French analyst Thierry Verculon told the AFP news agency. In the capital, Bangui, the response was mixed. Economist Jan Dewaro told BBC Afrique it would make life easier as transactions can be made with smartphones, and it was easy to convert Bitcoin to other currency. Businessmen will no longer have to walk around with suitcases of CFA francs that will have to be converted into dollars or any other currency to make purchases abroad, he said. He also argued that the CFA franc was not being used to, quote unquote, benefit Africa. Now, I want you guys to stop right there. Well, think about that. Now, let's just ask this question, right? We got to ask the question because we always got to ask the common sense questions, right? We got to ask the common sense questions. Why would anybody think that that currency was there to benefit Africans? It's the same thing when I sit here and I listen to these people on YouTube. When I sit here and I listen to these world leaders on YouTube that everybody just loves, you know what I'm saying? Well, they ain't do nothing for black folk. When you live in a world where the majority of people have done nothing but harm you and try to take advantage of you, why would you think that any action that they would do without any evidence saying otherwise would be anything other than that? And this is the flat learning curve that I'm talking about. I told you guys yesterday, I told you I was dead serious. I don't feel bad about a damn thing that I said yesterday because all of it was right. Now, how would this benefit? How would this benefit Africa using this currency? Shout out to Frozen. We've already, for the most part, hammered that out. The next question you would have to ask yourself is, well, then why are you continuing to use it? Why are you perpetuating its use case? Why are you doing that? All around the world, you know what I'm saying? Like Digital Underground said, same song. All around the world, it's the same song. Why do these people do this dumb stuff and then turn around and ask why dumb stuff happens? Why do they do it? It seems like there's only one answer. He argued that the CFA was not being used to benefit Africa. No, the CFA was put into place to benefit France and to put ownership over things in Africa that don't belong to France. And somebody just woke up. That ain't benefiting black people. Duh. Duh. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Y'all know what to do. Black Free Thinker said, why do black Americans stubbornly vote for the Democrats? Because they are part of the black voter monolith. Because when you have one-to-one control over somebody's brain to the point where you have them trained like Pavlov's dog and you know exactly what they're going to do, it's very easy to manipulate those people into doing what you want them to do. Just like how people love to find people who like to manipulate them. People love to be manipulated. People are contortionists. People are contortionists. They love to be manipulated. You guys remember them old Gumby dolls, little Gumby toys back in the day? They like to be manipulated like Gumby. This is what they like. This is that stuff that they do like. They'll sit there and tell you that they don't, and then you'll sit there and look at all of the evidence that shows that they do. And then you'll sit there and watch them say that they don't. People's hypocrisies need to be shown. They need to be called out. They need to be examined. They need to be studied like a lab rat. He also argued that the CFA was not being used to benefit Africa. There are growing calls in several countries for the currency to be dropped by those who see it as a relic of the colonial era, enabling France to continue to exercise economic control. Okay. However, computer scientist Sidney Tricania said he thought the adoption of the cryptocurrency was premature and irresponsible. Internet access is still underdeveloped in the country, while Bitcoin depends entirely on the internet, he said. Adding that the car had more pressing issues such as security, education, and access to drinking water. CAR has suffered from ongoing conflict since its independence in 1960. Now, I want to ask you guys this question, right? And this question is going to sound, I don't know, man. It might not sound good, right? But who cares? Because it's a lot of stuff out there right now not looking good. My question is this. If you're people and you already sit on diamonds, titanium, gold, and silver, and you can't get things together with that, why would you be under the impression that Bitcoin itself will save you? What would give you the silly idea that Bitcoin on its own would save you? You can't even get it together, and you have a gold mine under you, literally. How do you not get it together and you got a gold mine under you? How does that happen? What's the causes of that? In 2013, mainly Muslim rebels seized control of the largely Christian country. Self-defense militias were formed to fight back, leading to widespread massacres along religious lines. Look at what people are doing in the name of religion. These people are yelling and babbling some nonsensical language that nobody understands, reading strange books, singing songs at 5 o'clock in the morning, waking people all up, and then descending across the desert like a drape of bad news to spread their religious dogma throughout the world. and people didn't think to stop them. I don't know, man. I don't know. After President Faustin Anchorage Touradera came into office in 2016, the country started shifting its strategic alliance from France towards Russia. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why would the Central African Republic shift its alliances from France to Russia? What would be the benefit in that? Why would they make that move? Why would they go in that direction? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Shout out to my man Carlton Way. What's good with it, bro? All right, so there's that. All right, I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, mind you, again, this is an old article, right? But I got it in my email yesterday, and I didn't know about it. I'd be curious to see how this has helped the Central African Republic, or to see how it's hurt the Central African Republic, because everything with Bitcoin it's not always a fun ride. Sometimes things don't go right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things don't go right. Now, we got two articles here about El Salvador, another country that is using Bitcoin as its currency. Okay. El Salvador to limit Bitcoin activities for $1.4 billion deal with the IMF. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Why is the IMF invested in getting El Salvador to slow down with its Bitcoin stuff? Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with you, bro? Why is the IMF so invested in getting El Salvador to slow down with the Bitcoin stuff? What's the purpose of that? What does the IMF do? El Salvador to limit Bitcoin activities for $1.4 billion deal with the IMF. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you think that this IMF deal can provide more value than continued investment in Bitcoin? Yeah, shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says they can't lock them into loans that will be defaulted on. Facts. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says control. Facts. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory says so they can limit El Salvador's power. Yeah. If you guys would agree with all of those answers, throw some flames in the chat. El Salvador has reached a deal with the IMF to limit various Bitcoin-related activities in exchange for a loan of $1.4 billion. The IMF is paying for influence. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says the IMF is a tool for Monroe Doctrine enforcement. Facts. Super facts. Specific requirements of the deal include limiting the public sector's Bitcoin purchases and the wind down of public Bitcoin wallet Chivo. The wind down of public Bitcoin wallet Chivo. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do people not see these banks moving like this? Let me ask you this. If Trump starts the National Bitcoin Reserve and cryptocurrency becomes more widely adopted in the United States, and banks start attempting to be custody holders of people's Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen? What do you all think is going to happen? El Salvador and the International Monetary Fund have reached an agreement for the country to limit domestic Bitcoin-related activities in exchange for a financial package. Now, let me ask you again, what incentive does the IMF have to do this? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, man, but this seems like a buyout package. Think about that, y'all. Yeah. Shout out to Frozen. Frozen says the value of Bitcoin will skyrocket even more. Yeah, facts. Super facts, bro. The IMF's extended fund facility, which is expected to extend over the course of 40 months, includes a $1.4 billion loan to back El Salvador's reform agenda and address the country's balance of payment needs. Now, that would be wild if El Salvador just decided to take that $1.4 billion and buy Bitcoin with it. With additional financial support expected from the World Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, and other regional development banks, the total financing package is expected to be worth over $3.5 billion, the IMF said. Now, again, you got to ask the question, why is this so important to them? Think about that. Why is this so important to them? Yeah. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says, U.S. dollar supremacy must continue. So this shows that there's a clear agenda. And this shows that even though El Salvador's got a lot of Bitcoin, they still got a price. You know what I'm saying? They also recognize that Bitcoin tends to weaken them. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, that is what I would do. I would take those billions and buy Bitcoin. If that's what you would do, give me a thumbs up. If that's not what you would do, then give me a thumbs down. That's definitely what I would do. That's definitely what I would do. But, you know, they probably got some type of contract in there or something, you know, some type of provisions that have stopped them from doing that. You know what I'm saying? Recognizing El Salvador's pending macroeconomic and structural challenges, the IMF-supported program aims to strengthen fiscal and external stability and help create the conditions for a stronger, more inclusive growth, IMF wrote in its announcement. Bitcoin limits, okay? In June of 2021, El Salvador became the first country to formally adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, as proposed by its president, Nayib Bukele, in order to promote financial inclusion. The country's latest deal with the IMF is designed to push policies that significantly diminish the potential risks of El Salvador's Bitcoin project. They include making the acceptance of Bitcoin by the private sector voluntary. Okay? This deviates from Article 7, all right? This deviates from Article 7, and we need to check this out, of El Salvador's 2021 Bitcoin law, which stipulates every economic agent must accept Bitcoin as payment when offered to him by whoever acquires a good or a service. Okay? You guys see that, right? For the public sector, the IMF said that Bitcoin-related activities, Bitcoin purchases, and transactions in Bitcoin will be confined. The agency, however, did not provide details on the new limits on Bitcoin activities. Furthermore, the IMF fund will direct El Salvador's citizens to pay taxes only in U.S. dollars and gradually wind down the government's participation in Chivo, the government-provided Bitcoin wallet. Now, if the United States sees a massive group of people start moving towards using Bitcoin for the majority of their transacting, how many of you all fear that the United States will begin to break its own laws and be illogical to attempt to either control people's Bitcoin use or to strategically extract their Bitcoin and control its abuse anyway? How many people see that as a possibility? And I want people to understand, this is the kind of stuff that the IMF is doing. This is the kind of stuff that the World Bank is doing. Let me ask you guys this question. Is the United States a partner with the IMF? Is the United States a partner with the World Bank? If they are, give me a thumbs up. If they are not, then give me a thumbs down. Transparency, regulation, and supervision of digital assets will be enhanced to safeguard financial stability, consumer and investor protection, and financial integrity, the IMF said. What it seems to me it will happen is that it seems to me that the IMF's stake in control over El Salvador and parts of its financial system has now been ensured. That's what it seems like is happening to me. All of this stuff that they're saying is not what I see. What I see is what I just said. Other goals of the IMF's deal with El Salvador include fiscal policies to reduce public debt, which is wild. How do you reduce public debt after giving somebody a $1.8 billion debt? How do you do that? How do you stop debt? By providing large debt. How does that work exactly? Does anybody know? How does that work? Increase fiscal transparency and strengthen fiscal and financial reserves. However, the deal has not been finalized. The IMF's executive board's final approval of the agreement is contingent on El Salvador's implementation of the agreed prior actions, the announcement said. In August this year, El Salvador's President Bukele conceded the nation's monetary experiment had mixed results, adding that Bitcoin had seen limited domestic adoption. Meanwhile, El Salvador has accumulated 5,968.77 Bitcoin as of Thursday, worth over $406 million. Bitcoin was trading at $101,215 as of 1:06 a.m. Eastern Time, according to the block's Bitcoin price page. Okay. So what do you guys think about this situation here with El Salvador? What do you guys think about this situation with El Salvador? I think it's kind of wild. I think it's kind of wild. But I don't think that is surprising. You know? It is definitely not surprising. So we're going to continue this live stream a little bit later. We're going to dive deeper into what's going on with El Salvador. We're going to also talk about some more Bitcoin buying signals, all right? And there's a reason why I keep asking the question, which has more demand? Think about this. Think about it very, very, very deeply. Is it better to hold a $100,000 Bitcoin, or is it better to buy $90,000 Bitcoins? Which one is better? Are they equally better? Do each have a use case? Because what we got to figure out is we got to figure out which one makes the price move. We got to figure out which one makes the price move. or we got to figure out how they both make the price move, because there's a possibility that they both could make the price move, right? So we're going to do that, all right? Now, I'm going to have the same thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it again a little bit later. Your boy is just tired. I just wanted to put this out here because I wanted to show y'all that article about the Central African Republic. I thought that was wild. And as much as I pay attention to stuff, I didn't catch that. I got to agree with Frozen. Shout out to Frozen. Frozen said the psychology behind 100K gets people excited. It also makes it very easy to be able to translate the price. It makes the unit price a lot easier. So when you have that type of situation where there's a psychological level and a actual visual level of representation for the kind of price translations there are, that's a pretty explosive mix. It's a pretty explosive mix. All right. So shout out to everybody watching, man. I appreciate you guys. If you're not part of the Discord, take a moment, join the Discord. If you're not subscribed on Rumble, take a moment, subscribe on Rumble. If you're not subscribed wherever you're watching from, hit that bell. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure that you guys pay attention for the premiere window. It will be up later, maybe about 5 or 6 hours. All right. We're going to finish it up. If you watch the replay, hashtag to the replay gang. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
time I did, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just an unfamiliar coordinate. Topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side boy, maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My love cloud and my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that's time delay. On moms, run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay. I'm versatile and my slang's different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Pick it out, ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Get ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know co-signer, no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.